Central Region, it's great to be back at you here with another weekly update here. It is SC2 right now. You're in the middle of the push. And I wanted to give you a couple of different tips on how to manage what's going on in the push week right now. Pretty easy to say that one of three things is happening for you right now. First thing that's probably happening for you right now is that you're making some progress. Now, what kind of progress really is what determines the reactionary attitude that people have versus the proactive attitude that people have. One thing that might be happening is you're going through the roof. You're killing it. You're doing way better than you thought you would do. You wanted to do a 5K push. You're on pace for 10K. You wanted to do 10. You're on pace for 20K. Whatever it might be. It's easy to have a good attitude when that's happening. Second thing, though, that might be happening is it's completely the other direction. You were setting up. You were going to break the record. You talked big. You were smack talking this person here. You're attending probably the early morning alliance meetings. And yet, all of a sudden, you see yourself only on pace for a much, much lower result. It's pretty easy to react to that in a negative sense. And then some of you are right on pace, and that's kind of a stoic moving forward. A saying that I've shared with people many times is that everyone is great at being great when things are going great, but only great people are great at being great when things are not going great. And that's the key thing to remember is when you're in a sprint like this, a push period which is not all summer long, but it's only so many days, okay? It is the type of thing where you really can drive and push yourself maybe harder than you normally do. And what happens is the reactionary attitude is the one which says, I will determine my attitude based on what happens to me. The proactive attitude is the decision that you make to have a particular attitude no matter what it is you're doing. Okay? So if things are going well right now and you've got that reactionary positive attitude, I'm going to actually ask you to inflict a greater level of intensity upon what you're doing because you've got the advantage of a positive energy already flowing. And if you saw yourself going after 10,000, what about 15,000? Can you do it? It's the idea of challenge. See, one of the reasons you're probably doing better than you thought you would is because you challenged yourself at a higher level. If you start to pull back on that, you might slow down your results and inadvertently go from being on pace to a 10K push period, even beyond that, maybe 15K. You ease back, you find yourself all of a sudden going, I don't know what happened. I was on pace for my 10K. Even ahead of that, I was on pace for 15K, even though my goal was 10,000, but I found myself doing 7,000. You pull back the reins a little bit. Don't do that. Instead, drive the challenge down further. Now, to address people who maybe it's just going completely opposite of the way that you wanted, you might even be skunked right now. You've done appointments but you haven't sold, your appointments have canceled, and you're going to have 6 a day during the push period and really go for it. And the worst thing is that you've been committed, you've been going to the morning meetings, or you've had appointments and they weren't there, so you're spending gas money. It's just not going the way you want. You have every reason to be negative. Well, the thing I want to tell you about that is that bad luck like that, it just doesn't last. So the first bit of good news is that if you're having a streak like that, usually it goes away just by itself. The second thing, though, is that this is where champions are made in the first place. This is your opportunity to do what most people are not willing to do. And see, while selling Cutco is incredibly valuable for you to be able to earn money and to win the awards and all that kind of stuff, the best reason that you want to sell Cutco is that you will become your best self through this process. And I'm going to tell you, if you turn it on right now when it's difficult, and you challenge yourself to make today a great day regardless of what happened in the past, then you are, by the way, going to find yourself having the $1,000 day, the $2,000 day. No doubt about it. You're going to earn the money. You're going to get your promotions. But more than anything else, you will teach yourself to be bulletproof when you're in the face of other challenges. The Cutco business, and I had just had breakfast with a bunch of executives this morning, and I was sharing that one of the best things about the Cutco business is it provides enormous repetition for people to learn how to manage circumstances and emotional intelligence and all those things that really matter. So you may have the best opportunity of all three groups of people, even though you wouldn't have chosen it for yourself and would like to pass on that opportunity next time and be in that first category of killing it. The middle category, if it's going just like you thought it was, okay, what I'm going to ask you to do is make sure that you build in energy and excitement. Jim Collins, who wrote a couple of many great books, in fact, business books, talks about how the greatest businesses and people in those businesses, they get themselves up in the morning with something called a BHAG. That's an acronym for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. This huge goal that is something that's not unrealistic, but at the same time very hard to achieve. And the idea of achieving it just makes you spring out of bed and go for it. And I just want to ask you, if you're following through on the pace that you had, did you pick maybe a pace that wasn't challenging enough? Now maybe you have blood, sweat, and tears to get you to stay on pace. And in that case, I'm not talking to you. You're doing everything you're supposed to, and it's great. But some of you maybe just kind of picked a number that you knew you could get, and you're methodically going after it. And at some point, the flame starts to go away a little bit if you don't challenge yourself to do something that might be a little bit more exciting. So no matter what's happening in the push week right now, there's so much time left. I mean, we're just in the beginning of it. And you can and will, with the right attitude, pull yourself into way bigger results than you thought you would. It's the daily commitment. Every single day, waking up and making it happen, setting your new goals, no matter what happened yesterday, doesn't matter. Today is a new goal, a new day. You're a part of the SC2 Push. It's going to be a great event. Can't wait to see you there.